do not mess around here because we are live at Scottsdale Stadium Day 2, and we're going right into our very first interview with Bryce Eldridge, of course, the Giants prospect and young man, Marcus, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Wrap your head around that one, buddy. All right, so listen, Bryce Eldridge, welcome to KNBR, the Murph and Marcus Show. We've been doing the morning show here for a while. We come down every year. We talk to all your Giants. We've been doing this for a long time. We're very excited to meet you, so good morning.
Yeah, morning, Bryce.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I'm excited to be here. I'm having a great time at my first camp. It's been a wild experience so far, but I'm just trying to, pick a few things up from everyone as I go along, and I've really enjoyed it. So thanks for having me.
Yeah. We'll go with an icebreaker question. We were just talking off the air. You grew up in the Washington D.C. area. You liked ice hockey.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was watching that game last night.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit upset, but that was such a cool experience. I mean, I think they should do that every year for the All-Star game.
It was actually thrilling. I mean, just beyond thrilling. So, and you're just to get on the record, you're a Washington Capitals guy then?
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir.
Caps
Alex
Sharks
Ovechkin.
rivalry. Marcus.
And it's a
There
good
we
way
go.
to start, too, because you used to play for Team USA. So talk to us about competing at that level to represent your country.
Yeah, I mean it's unlike anything else. You're getting on the line and they're playing the national anthem, and when the national anthem ends, you got a bunch of people chanting USA, USA. So it's it gives me chills just thinking about it. It was pretty cool, and it was definitely a moment that I always appreciate. I got the opportunity to do that, and I still keep in touch with those guys and those coaches. So that was a family over there, and I'll never forget that for sure.
For the facts, it was the 2022 World Cup, 18U national team. They won the gold, and oh, by the way, Marcus, we're talking to the MVP.
Yeah, here he is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, sir. I was thankful to have a good tournament. I was throwing and hitting well, so I was lucky enough to get it, and I'm glad we got the gold medal.
Dude, that is awesome, bringing home that gold. So, well, you said in your opening statement, it's been a wild experience. So, for all the listeners out there and for our conversation, how wild of an experience is it? What's been wild about it?
I'm going, from level to level. I'm spreading off, across the country. So it's been, there's a lot of travel going on with it. A lot of new faces, a lot of names. I got to remember, and I'm not very good with that all the time. So I really enjoy just seeing the different, clubhouses and how, every clubhouse is different, every coaching staff is different, and it's just being able to be around so many guys who've been around for a long time or a short time, and just being able to pick their brains a little bit.
Yeah, and I would say after last season, after watching you go from San Jose all the way to Sacramento, you might know everybody in the organization by now.
Yeah.
So just talk to us about that journey going from level to level and how last season kind of played out for you.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, I think, thank the Lord I was healthy the whole year. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games to be played, and I'm just glad I stayed healthy through it all. But I think as the season went on, I really got a lot better. My numbers in San Jose, they weren't, eye-popping, but, once I kept moving up and I kept getting more comfortable, kept getting better with my approach, everything, kind of found its place, and everything kept getting better. So, it was cool. And I just, like I said, I enjoyed being with a bunch of different people. I enjoyed going back to Virginia and being near my hometown and having all these people come watch me play. And, obviously the short trip in Sacramento too was great, and just being around those guys for the first time. And it was really cool.
Yeah, for the record, San Jose, Arrow, Eugene, Arrow, Richmond, Arrow, Sacramento, Arrow, Scottsdale, Arizona. Yeah, so that's, yes, you said a lot of travel and meeting a lot of people. Funny you say you don't remember names. You know the story, Willie Mays, the story on him, though, they call him, he said, say hey to everybody because he forget names.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So you just start walking around saying, say hey. And
Yeah, that might work out for me.
Say hey, kid, too.
Yeah, exactly. That might work for me.
Which leads us to the actual baseball. And you mentioned in the Olympics you were throwing and hitting. So people who don't know, most do, but some don't, you were drafted as a two-way player, a pitcher and a hitter. So tell us about Bryce Eldridge, the pitcher, and when the Giants and Bryce Eldridge decided to not become a pitcher anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, I think from an early age, I was kind of gifted, obviously with the height and the size. I was throwing harder than a lot of guys at that age, and so I kind of just kept getting better there, and the pitching got to a great level, and I kind of always had that swing going too in the box. So everything just kept getting better. I kept working at both up until last year, and that decision just I was just not. The biggest thing for me was just to, I didn't want to sit around in the minor leagues. When I got drafted, I made it known that I wanted to get up there, and I didn't want to hang out in the minors for a long time. So I think the best bet for me, with my family and my agent, Tucker Ward, we all decided that the best bet that way is to just, drop the glove, drop the ball on the mound, and get in the box. And I think it's working out so far. I've gotten a lot better, solely focusing on it. And like I said, I'm not trying to hang out in the minors long, and that's the goal for me. So I'm gonna keep hammering at it. I'm gonna keep hammering at the defense and keep getting better, and hopefully we'll be up there soon.
Do you ever get the itch to get back on the bump? Maybe throw a BP or a live AB?
Oh yeah, I mean during practice, sometimes we stand around the mound, and I kind of just step up there and look down into the plate, and I get all fired up. But sometimes when some of the buddies bring up pitching, I get all pumped up too. But yeah, we'll leave that in the back pocket.
I'm picturing a scenario down the road where in a dramatic moment he drops the first baseman's mitt and trots on the mound to close out a game.
That would be pretty neat. I don't know if they'll ever allow that to happen. But
Hey, man, let's not rule it out.
Yeah,
We're not ruling anything out. We're talking to Bryce Eldridge, of course, the Giants prospect who's been invited to camp at age 20. It's so exciting. Looking at this great bio where you say biggest influence on your career is your Little League All-Star coach, Chris Leggett. Now, I have two boys, and I've done that whole thing. I've just done the whole Little League All-Star thing. And you were talking about being big early. I just got a flash to facing you in a Little League All-Star game and not being excited about it. Were you one of those kids? I imagine your Little League numbers were a little crazy.
yeah. I mean, I'm not one to flaunt the numbers or whatever.
I'm gonna make you brag, but how did your All-Star team get pretty deep? Or
Yeah, so we won the Virginia State Championship 3 years in a row. Almost made it to Williamsport. Came up a little bit short, but the previous years in the regionals, we went to the semifinal, the championship, and lost. We never won it.
I'm going to guess the only reason they lost because you had to be burned in one game and you were not available for the last game.
Yeah. I mean, had to pitch to get there most of the time, but there obviously that's not the sole reason, but there's some other factors.
There's some fond memories though. Huh?
Oh yeah, great times.
So throughout Little League, high school, Team USA, did you exclusively pitch and hit only, or did you play first base, or where'd you grow up playing?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I didn't start playing first base until, I got to high school. I was kind of believe it or not, until 8th grade, I was a shortstop, third baseman. So, yeah, so I obviously the pitching became a big deal for me, and, just to save the arm, I would DH a lot. So I would play first base, every now and then if if the schedule allowed it, if the arm was in a good place for it. So I didn't get much reps over there, but obviously I had my ups and downs last year at first base, but these guys are hammering at it with me, trying to get me better, and I feel a lot better. I feel like I've made some serious improvements this offseason. So
yeah, talk to us more about that. Because you said, hey man, I played first base growing up. I know how to do this, but they're telling you no. You got to go remake yourself at first base to become a big leaguer. Is that what's the goal? How much harder is it at this level, and who's working with you?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot harder at this level. I moved up, through all the levels, and the game just keeps getting faster. So you kind of got to adjust to that. But no, yeah, these guys have been out there with me every day, helping me hammer down my footwork, staying in my legs. I'm a tall guy, so naturally, I want to come up out of my legs when I'm trying to field a ball, which is never what you want to do. But yeah, just allowing my athleticism to take its course, stay in my legs. The better my feet are moving, the better my glove hand will be. So just trying to get reps in. Honestly, it's just last year was my first full year playing it. I'm just trying to get better there and continue to just, take these game reps and, keep getting better at it. So those guys up there can trust me to put me over there and make a play for them.
And then moving from first base to the batter's box, talk to us about your swing. Is there someone you kind of base your swing after, someone you idolize, or just talk to us about the power and that raw power that you do have?
Yeah, no, yeah. Like I said, I'm very blessed, with the size I have. My parents are both pretty tall, and I take advantage of it. The swing's kind of always been there. I had some growing pains when I was coming up, and I was growing really fast and getting a little uncoordinated. So once I started settling back into my body, things started to click again. But I kind of modeled my swing after Bryce Harper. I grew up in the D.C. area. So watching him play growing up and obviously sharing the same name with him, I kind of idolized him, and I think you can see that in my swing a little bit. I used to mimic the stance, the swing. It's changed a little bit, to kind of make my own swing, but that was definitely someone I grew up,
That's
watching.
pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. 88 you're wearing out there. It's unique. Is that if you ever got called up to the bigs, would you be rocking 88?
I don't know. I kind of like it. I think my family likes it. It's a really high number. I don't know what's gonna happen if I get there, but that'll be a conversation for
I was
another
going to
day.
say, so you see this pullover I'm wearing, 44, and there's another first baseman, 22, Will Clark. This is Willie McCovey. I don't know. There's some symmetry there. I just,
Those guys
throwing it out there,
Those guys
buddy.
are pretty good.
They are pretty good.
Those guys are pretty good.
Just putting it out there into the numerical universe. We'll worry about today's work before we get to that. Right
Yeah,
there.
we'll figure out the number once you make the big league roster. But let me ask you, is it a personal goal for you to try to make the big league roster this year?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I'm not going to set a date. I'm not going to set a time, but at some point this year, I want to earn my way up there and force their hand to bring me up there because, like I said earlier, that's the main goal for me, and I don't want to sit around in the minors. I want to be able to make an impact on the big league team and on the city as soon as possible. So I want to help those guys win some games. So I'm ready to go.
I know you got to get going pretty soon. But just a little bit about you personally. Family, you said your parents tall. Were they athletes or not? Or
They weren't athletes, but they're just tall. So they're tall and skinny. So I got lucky.
who's the tall? How big is pops and mom?
I mean, my dad's about 6'2" ish, but my mom's like 6 foot. She says she's
that's
not,
it.
but she is.
But
She
that's where
says
you
she's
get.
not,
Yeah.
but
Do your
she is.
siblings play or?
Yeah, I have a brother. He doesn't play. He goes to University of Tennessee. His name's Ben. He's about 6'4", so he's a big dude. He was a good athlete, but he chose to live the Tennessee life. So
Were you guys ever? Did you guys ever get to play on the same little league team or anything? Or
yeah, we played little league together, played high
awesome.
school together, won a state championship in high school together. So
dude,
it's pretty
nice.
neat. Yeah,
what
pretty
was his
neat.
position?
He was a pitcher. He was
Oh,
a pitcher.
yeah. Dude, the Eldridge boys, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
That's a tough 2-game series.
We got some rings on it.
Oh, dude. So wait a minute. So Virginia State, and then Little League State, and then gold medal, Olympics. So you like to win.
Yeah. I guess so. We got two state championships in high school. We got 3 in Little League. Got the World Cup. So
Well, I mean, winning's a thing. Like you
Yeah.
either when you hit the field, you're one of those guys who just plays, or one of those guys who wins.
Yeah.
Is that your
I mean,
identity?
that's the biggest thing is winning. I don't like losing. And that's the biggest thing for me is I don't want to leave the field all mad and hurt because we lost. So that's I kind of have like a refuse to lose mentality and kind of try and spread that around with these guys. So.
Yeah, and that's the mentality of your boss also, Buster Posey, president of baseball operations. Have you had a chance to interact and talk with him during spring training so far?
Yeah. Nah, he's a busy man, so he's kind of running around. But I kind of saw my opportunity the first or second day of camp. He was sitting down talking to someone, but I came and interrupted and I shook his hand. It was pretty cool though. Just being around like guys like that. Guys I watched growing up on TV. It's pretty crazy just to feel like I'm here now.
You were born October 2004. In 2014, we were in Kansas City. This show was in Kansas City watching the Giants beat the Royals in the World Series. Would you have remembered that as a 10-year-old?
Barely.
Okay.
Barely.
Yeah,
I remember the stretch they had where they were winning. And at the time as a Nats fan, I wasn't all happy about it.
We took out the Nats along the way.
I remember I stayed up past my bedtime to watch that 16-inning game when Belt hit that. It was Belt who hit that home run, right? Yeah, I remember watching that. So that was, that kind of turned me against the Giants at a young age. But no, it's all fun and games. I mean, I love this org. They take care of me. The fans are great.
You should go look up on YouTube. You seen Bryce's home run in the 2014 LDS, I believe. Is it
Splash
Oracle?
hit, right?
Dude, I mean, I think that thing's still going up to the moon.
Yeah, I know. And then that sparked some drama the next year or something.
So you got your history down on
Oh
that.
yeah, I was following.
So in other words, guys named Bryce can hit balls into the water. That's all I'm saying.
This is true. This is
Okay.
true.
That's it. That's the goal.
Yes, sir.
You do know, I mean, like when you got drafted, you're a lefty. Do you know about McCovey Cove?
Oh yeah.
Seemed
Oh yeah.
appealing to you?
Oh, that's all I think about. I got the chance to hit at Oracle after I got drafted. I bounced one in. It's still eating me up. So I gotta get out there. I gotta get out there again.
You got to get revenge.
Gotta get my revenge on the Cove.
All right, we'll let you go, man. Listen, it's real nice to meet you. Hopefully this is the first of many. We know you got work to do. Go, do your thing. And I know all the KNBR listeners loved it, man. We got huge Giants fans listening to this thing. And you'll see if the Giants win, that place becomes pretty electric. Kind of like, when the Nats
Oh,
are
yeah.
winning. Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice to meet you, Bryce.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
Thanks
Bryce.
for coming on.
Thanks
Bryce
for having me
Eldridge on Murph and Marcus on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.